everybody. Welcome to another episode with Alta Call. I am your host, Tane, here to recap season 19, episode 9. And my host today is a familiar voice. It is Brian from MAFS Virgin. Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. I am irritated at one member of this cast more than anybody else, and I'm sure we'll talk about her and why I hate her guts. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Take it back. We don't hate anybody. Take it back. And I
I
know
hate,
you're talking about Rhonda, but take it back.
yeah,
Is
I
it?
hate everything she says and does. Yes. As a
We-
person, maybe she's fine, but I hate all of her behaviors and everything she stands for.
Oh, you don't watch the challenge. I was going to call you Theo. I'm like, I just told you take it back. And he doubled down on it. And I'm like, what is wrong
Listen,
with you?
I watch Atlanta. I said what I said. I will stand by that.
She's just working through it. Everyone's coming with their baggage and they're
And
sorting
whatever.
through it. Oh, gosh. All right, guys, we are 21 days until decision day. Like, this is heaven. This is great. This has been a good season. I am enjoying it. I am looking forward to all the drops. And they gave us the mic drop of all drops with this episode. So let's get into it. Getting into it with Brittany and Will. Will says that Brittany sounds like, she's ready to get to the toys because they had sex toys delivered to them. And we're like, ooh, where's this gonna go? Is it an avocado? Is it a ball gag? What are we gonna get? Guys, this is the last. We saw them get it, and that was it. Nothing else was discussed. Dr. Pia didn't show up to give them instructions. They didn't even get Clint and Gina, put the feather, nothing. Just deliver the box, and that was it. So
I
Will
didn't have
says,
a weirdo come over in the underpants all day with Carla and Wancho. We didn't get any of that.
I mean, that's a blessing, I think. I think every example we just mentioned, we're like, okay, maybe that was a good choice.
Absolutely.
So he says she looks like she's ready to get to the toys, and Brittany's like, oh, are you going to teach me how to use them? Because I've never done this before. And if you guys remember, she told the experts she doesn't mind someone who's more experienced than she is. She does ask him, what have you used before? And Will, a man of not many words, he just picks everything out in his hands. And she's like, oh, that's all you've used? So that was
Dump
funny.
the whole box out.
Dr. Pia and Pascal are coming. Usually the couples are like, I'm nervous. They're going to call me out. Will is like, we're good. I'm excited. They're coming over. And Brittany's like, well, I don't know. I feel like our feelings should be further along. This is all selfie cams, by the way. And when they sit, they're like, how are things? And they're like, things are good. And they're like, huh. And they're like, things could be better. And then Pascal was like, are there any issues? Will has the audacity to say, no issues. I'm like,
nope,
no.
Everything's perfect.
Brittany makes a face. And she has a lot of faces that she makes too. She's very expressive. And she's told us that. And she's like, well, I don't know. It's more like, I don't know where we stand. I don't know where he stands. And Will is like, what does that mean? Because we have that conversation every other day. You ask me, what am I saying on decision day? And Brittany's like, I don't do that every other day. But then she follows up with, well, do you answer me when I do? So which is
right. Well, I get where she's coming from here. Because it's like, we'll talk about this. This man can't ever just say anything positive. It's got to be, here's a positive thing with like a caveat. Here's a positive thing with but I don't really know. And that would drive me insane. No wonder she has no idea where she stands.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, I know he does say things like, I want to be with you, I stay with you. And it looks like he cares about her. But then he goes all the way left. And, what was the last episode? Oh, if you're a cancer patient. Oh, if we don't be together. And it's like, oh, okay. So you're making contingencies. But I will keep saying this. You just got to meet Will where he is. It's just Will speaks a different language. And that's just what it is. So
I wouldn't handle it well. If I get this from my wife, every time it's a good thing, but it's like, yeah, but also your breath stinks. I'm like, God damn, all right. You can't just say I look nice.
But he doesn't say negative things like, oh, you do this, or you're a terrible person. He says things because he's very matter of fact. Like, he's the kind of person that will say, I love you. This is a great wedding day, but in 5 years, we may be divorced. I don't want us to get divorced, but there's just a chance that we might get divorced. Now, normally, don't say that. If it happens, it happens. But Will is like, I don't get the big deal. It's a possibility. What's wrong with me saying it? So
that part I'm okay with. I'm okay with basically saying, listen, right now, if decision day was today, I would say yes. If things keep going the way they've been going, I will say yes, but I don't really know what's going to happen. That doesn't bother me as much. What bothered me more was when they went through the vows and her being like, okay, so do I make you happy? Well, some days. Do I make you laugh? On occasion. Like, just say yes. Yes, you make me happy. Yes, you make me laugh. You don't have to always say, like, I mean, yeah, kind of. Like, you can just give her a compliment sometimes.
Yeah, and we're saying the same thing. It's just he's so by the book, very matter of fact. I'm just going to say things as they are.
Drive me
He
nuts.
feels in his mind that if he says yes, that he's lying. So it's just
Yeah.
it's just, can you live with that? She absolutely has the choice if she can live with that or not, but that's where he is right now.
I mean, the
So
unofficial motto of our podcast is lie to your spouse. It's okay to lie to your spouse if it's going to make them feel good and not cause problems. Not like a big lie,
yeah.
but just like, you know, you don't have to, if they make you a really nice dinner and part of it is under seasoned, you don't have to go, I mean, this dinner is okay, this part's under seasoned. Just say thank you for making me this wonderful dinner. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to always come with the absolute unvarnished truth.
No, you're not going to get that from Will. I mean, this is a guy when they went wrestling. He didn't even play wrestle. He took her to the
I
ground and
know.
was like,
I
I'm
was
not going
I
to
was so
lose.
jealous.
Not going to
God
lose.
damn. Mark Henry is I want to meet Mark Henry. I was very jealous of this.
Oh my God. I told on myself, I didn't know who he was. So
Oh, world's
yeah.
strongest man.
Yeah,
House of
yeah,
Pain.
yeah. Did not know that.
Oh, he's a
So
fixture of my youth.
so he says that, oh no, his answer whenever she says that is, if it was today, sure, but I can't tell you what's going to happen in a month. And he gets it. It makes her uneasy, doesn't give her security. This is after prodding by Dr. Pia because she thinks that I'm not sure about her. And then Dr. Pia is like, well, are you? And he's like, I can reiterate what I said before. Don't ask me. He didn't say it that way, but that was basically the tone.
Yeah.
That if it was today, yeah, but I don't know what will happen, which technically factual. Everything shifts by the moment with this too. So it's just, you're just going to say, listen, I feel good today. I feel positive about us. I think we're going to be good, but it is not Will. I just, we're belaboring the points because we want him to say something. It's not going to happen. So what do we do now? That's where I am with this. That it's now the ball is in your court. Are you going to just go with his intentions? Like, listen, this man says is too truthful, but he treats me well. But I don't like what means more to you. I don't like the uncertainty that I feel. But also, they all keep forgetting y'all just met. Y'all
It's true.
just met. Like,
It's true.
just let it breathe, let it go. Like, don't make it a big deal. And I get the intensity. I'm not filming with them, but you're gonna have this fight over and over and over again. And even us as a viewer, and even me, every episode I'm saying the same thing. Like, just meet him where he's at and tell him and keep knocking his head. Like, you meet her also where she's at, but it's
Yeah.
gonna take time, you know?
So
So
whatever.
and then she says that that makes her think that if she does any small thing that he doesn't like, it will make him have doubts and then he'll want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
This is very valid. But the first thought I had was, good thing not a lot of things bother him. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
the thing
But
is, when he says these things, he's never said anything that is a direct criticism of her,
that's
if
true.
that makes any sense. He's never said, oh, you don't know how to cook. Oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, he never. It's just whatever
No.
they're having. He just wants to list records, facts, and times and dates and things. So I was surprised that she felt that way because I was going under the assumption that the one thing I give these couples, all of them, is that at the very core, they all believe that their partners are here for them.
Yeah. That's
But
true.
I know it's not enough for her because that is her insecurity. So that's a harder battle, for her. So I was surprised that she was like, it's going to make him have doubts. He's going to leave. And I'm like, Will? Like, he's a lot of things, but I don't get that, but it could be me.
But knowing her insecurities,
Yeah.
I don't think that she looks at it as like nothing bothers him, and so like the odds of me doing something that's really going to set him off are very low.
Yeah.
I think it's more like something bothers this dude. I don't know what it is yet. And
Yes.
I'm going to find out one of these days. I'm going to
Yeah.
do it by accident, and that's going to doom everything. And I don't think that's a
Yeah.
realistic fear,
Yeah.
but like that's kind of how fears are. They don't have to be realistic. I just think that she's trying to find out what is your
Yeah.
thing so I can not step on that landmine. He's just like, I don't know. We'll find out when we find out.
I think the other thing she also thinks is like, if he really liked me, he wouldn't even be acting this way. It would go
Mm-hmm.
beyond the logical and he would just want to do all that, with
Mm-hmm.
me. So, the one's like, I don't know who's wrong or right, but he said, like, oh, you think that? I had no idea she felt that way. And she says, yeah, that's on me. I haven't expressed that. And I'm like, okay, guys, what are we
Yeah,
doing here? And
y'all are just not communicating properly.
everyone's trying to be a mind reader. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Will is also the kind of person who's like, I do all these things to show that I love you, but never actually says it and is like, oh, why are you shocked? Like, you should know, but I'm here, aren't I? So, love language is different. He
Mm-hmm.
says that that means that also that he has not made her feel safe to express herself, and that also means that she's not being true to herself. And if she's not being true to herself, she's not giving them both the opportunity. And then if it's a case where things don't work out, we can always say,
There it is. If you are your true self and I don't like you, I can just leave. It's like, come on.
we can say, at least we can say we were themselves. And then Pastor Cal, one of his many faces, he's like, wait, what? What is this dude saying?
Yup.
Dr. Pierre's like, okay, stop. Like, you don't need to go to like if things don't work out. Like, just pause, say what you need to say, don't add the negative part. And she says, when she says, do you want to provide that security to her? I, as a viewer, I think that was the wrong question. I, as a viewer, thinks that he does want to provide that security. He just doesn't know how to provide the security. What I think a better question is he capable of providing that security?
Yeah. I
That's
don't. God, it's hard for me to say he's not capable of it because, like, I listen. There's a 6-year-old who lives in my house, and there are times I'm just like, buddy, you can put on lotion, get your clothes on, and get downstairs in less than 10 minutes. It's impossible. I'm like, but it's not impossible. You could do this. It doesn't take
yeah,
that much. So it's like I want to believe in him
yeah.
that you can be the kind of reassuring guy she wants you to be.
He can.
I I think he can. I don't think he really wants to. I don't think he wants to do the uncomfortable work for him, come out of his character a little bit to provide her what she's looking for. And I don't know why, but it
It's
doesn't.
a
He
it's a muscle he hasn't used.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't even know that he's not doing it. Like, honestly, when they called him out to say, why are you saying, like, if things don't work out? He looked bewildered. Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean?
Why wouldn't
All
I
I
say that?
said, because at the end of 8 weeks, there are two probabilities. Yes, no. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy
You're
that
the
I said
robot.
this? So, exactly. So, that's a whole new world for him where it makes sense to us. But Will is just like, y'all are the crazy ones. So, that's why I'm
Right.
like, is he capable? Because he doesn't even realize it. So, it's going to be a long journey to
Yeah.
witness that. So all this conversation though, they're holding hands. I will say this. Unlike the
Yeah.
first time when Pascal came and they were on East and West on the couch, but they're holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
Pascal asked, okay, have you discussed anything after the experiment? And I'm like, nah, not really. And he's like, okay, let's talk about living arrangements. What's gonna happen? He's like, well, I'm fine living at hers, but I'm keeping my apartment though. That's Pia's like, again, let's dig deeper into
Right.
this. And here's the thing again. Will is like, listen, I live 7 minutes from the airport. I travel for work like 3 days out of the week. I'm close to downtown. If we go out, like we're there in the city, we have a place to stay. And I am defending Will. It's just because at this point it's going to be a hamster wheel. If we don't, they have to meet this man where he is. There are no set rules for how a marriage should work. If having two places work for them, so be it. Like, I don't like it doesn't mean, oh, I don't want to be with you because everything he said is practical,
Yeah.
right? It's
Well.
practical. If they can
Yeah.
afford it, it doesn't automatically mean that he's checked out. He's just being like practical, logical, and being like, listen, we can pay too. You have your house, I have mine. It's not his reason was sometimes I need time on my own and I'm just gonna have to go to my apartment. It was like
Right.
the airport is right there. It's a pain, to get down. And I don't even know what suburb of Austin she lives in. That's the other thing. Like if
Right.
she's over in like, I don't know, is Round Rock close? Like Round Rock is the place
The
in there.
only one I know is Deep Ellum.
That's Dallas. That's Dallas.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm just like, so he made sense. Like, I'm close to the airport. I travel all the time. We go out. When we go there, if you're drunk, who's going to be trying to get an Uber to go all the way? We have a place, right? People have vacation homes. Think of it that way. So if
Sure.
their pocket allows and they're okay with it, even though you have in your mindset, like, oh, we should be in one house, we should be together. If this is what works for you, that's okay too. At least to me. What do you
Well,
think?
I would agree. I think two things. Like when I moved in with my wife, I kept my apartment because my lease was still active,
And he
and like you
mentioned
said,
that.
like
Sorry.
there's a penalty for breaking your lease and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I had a lot of my junk in there that I knew she didn't want in her house. Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to collect samurai swords. You know where there's not space for samurai swords in a woman's townhouse who has no interest in samurai swords. So like I had a lot of my junk at my place. I'm just like when we get our big house together, I'll put this stuff in storage. I'll sell it. I'll put it in the basement.
Yeah.
Whatever. I kept my place. I never spent the night there. I never went back there. It was literally just like a storage unit for 3 months until my lease ran out. My issue is he needs to be able to lead with that as the reason why. He just said, well, I'm going to keep my place though.
Yeah.
And then they had to ask him, why are you going to do that? And then he had a completely logical explanation.
Yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense to be like, well, yeah, I mean, the location is good for this and I have my lease. You gotta say that. You gotta say, well, I would happily move in with her. I would keep my place because, and then list those reasons that it's like, well, I'm gonna keep my place
Yeah.
because mind is gonna go to the worst possible conclusion if you just leave it out there for her to imagine what the problem is.
Let me pause you right there. You said you know that he doesn't know. Will is not clocking. He's just thinking
How
in
do
his
I know then?
That's what I'm saying. Will is not clocking, and this is what really their battle is he has to start thinking in the mindset of Brittany. Brittany also has to start thinking in the mindset of Will. Like
Yeah,
it's good, like him not wanting to move because and he mentioned the lease thing as well.
yeah,
So, and that's where Dr. Pia comes in, and they let him know about his delivery. It didn't clock to him. He was like, I kind of
yeah.
see my delivery. It was abrasive. And Dr. Pia points out, like, when you are responding, you're not like responding, it's like a rebuttal. Every single time it comes in the tone of a rebuttal. And then he quickly turns to her and was like, hey, I'm sorry for making you feel like I don't care about us or you. Like, I need help in you letting me know because we also see, like, she's walking on eggshells and isn't really saying fully. Because when he said, I'm keeping my apartment, she's like, okay. But Brittany's
Yeah,
face
cool.
is a
Oh, she was
whole
upset.
story, by
Yeah.
itself. So I'm glad that, they brought all of that out from there. So Pascal says, like, both of you need to be vulnerable and just let whatever happens happen. And that is
Hmm.
my wish for Brittany on her end because listen, Brittany is relatable. I can sit here all day and
Hmm.
say, oh, she's doing this and I wish her to breathe, but we've all been there. And then your anxiety just work up and you write yourself a whole story and you're convinced it is fact. And it's really,
Yes.
really not. And you can tell like she's just having a hard time trying to deal with all that and trying to calm herself down, but it's not exactly working. So she starts tearing up and they're like, why are you crying? And she's like, I did not think that I was guarded. And to me, this is one of the good things why we fell in love with this show. And Dr. Pepper always says that. Dr. Pepper is clocked out. Where is Dr.
Where's she
Pepper?
been?
like, like, hello. um, is that even if it doesn't work out, you get to learn things about yourself. And it's just her
Mhm.
thinking, like, wow, I did not think that I was guarded, but apparently here I am. And then also later on, when she goes to see her family, where she's like, oh, I'm a bubbly person. Will is like, her mom is like, she goes to her mom, like, Will, you don't know me, but mom's like, yes. So when you were in high school, so she didn't know that.
Even in that moment, he could have been like, "Yeah, I think so." Just let her tell her own story and say, "He's like, yeah, okay, I guess we'll call it that." I'm like, man, you can't
It's
just like, yes, you're bubbly.
it's
Like,
not gonna
damn, bro.
happen. But see, the thing is, Will in his mind is like, you're not bubbly, but that's okay. I love you
But
even though you're not bubbly. Like he's not
she
in his mind, it's a lie. He's not gonna do that. I would have said
lied
that
to your mouth.
I would have thought that she was bubbly, actually, honestly.
Yeah,
But hey,
I would think so. Listen,
if
man,
her mom doesn't agree,
lie to
I'm not
yourself
gonna
sometimes.
argue against her mom. Will maybe I can
No,
argue against, but not her mom. So
I guess not. Shit.
um so yeah, he says all that, tears up, says that she didn't know that she was not vulnerable, and he pulls her to him.
Yeah.
And this is the part where you want to say, "Oh, Will doesn't know," but this to me is kind of like, okay, he is capable. Like he could read the moment, and they point out to him, like, you see, this is emotional closeness. Like if he didn't care, he wouldn't have pulled you. I just want them to work so bad.
Same. Same.
Ah, so
I can
bad.
I can see exactly what to do to make them work, and neither one of them are like, I also see that. It's just like
Yes.
these are not major changes you guys have to make. You have to accommodate one another in a way that is not necessarily natural to you. And it's
Yeah.
not that much of a hardship. It's not like ain't nobody asking you to go to Burning Man. Like you just have to be a little bit accommodating for your partner. It's I hope they can figure this out.
I hope so too. I think it's a case of if they work through the growing pains, the payoff will be so good. You know?
Mhm. You
So,
can see all the reasons why they're going to work if they can just get on the same level,
yeah.
because there's no glaring issue between these two. From the wedding, I really thought this is going to be like a I'm super religious, he's not. That's not even become a thing at all. So
Yeah.
like all of the reasons they should work are right in our faces, and they're just like, yeah, I don't know if I can accommodate talking to you the way you want to be talked to.
But I do think that that is a thing I am curious about, is the whole religious thing, because the
Hmm.
parents were it was very important to them, and
Hmm.
it's like, where does Brittany fall under that? Like, how does she not care that he's agnostic?
Yeah, we haven't
So
heard it mentioned
we haven't heard
once.
it.
So yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, so they go visit Brittany's family, and they go to her aunt's house. That's where all the parties happen. And she said,
Hmm.
just like Will was the first man she brought to her house, Will is the first man to meet her entire family. And there's a part, like, she's just going about her family is like, they're a wild bunch. They're just fun and they just seem
It's my
great.
family.
Like, even Will says like he's an introvert, but even he seems comfortable. I was so glad, like, he seemed to blend in with them, and they were giving him
Hmm.
hugs. There was a part where they were talking with the mom. Her mom is just so excited that she's married and it seems to go well. There's a part where they're talking about how she used to pick her nails, she used to pick her toenails. Oh, she's bouncing her legs. I'm like, guys, that's anxiety right there.
Yeah,
Because
it's anxiety or it's ADHD. You got one of the two.
Will is like, is it an anxious thing or something? I think someone said no. But one thing that stood out to me, her mom is like, what did I tell you? Whatever you saw your parents do, do the opposite.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, going back to the very beginning, she was very much like Jalen, where she was like, I never saw my parents express any like physical affection
Yeah.
for one another. They weren't very lovey, and she wants that in her marriage. And I wonder if her mom is also like, yeah, I also wanted that, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I know it's what you want, and so like, don't replicate what we have, kind of a thing, which is a bummer to hear from your mom. But it
Yeah.
seems like kind of what's going on here.
Yeah. Her mom is like, too late for me, but don't make the same mistakes that I made, because I don't, her dad wasn't there, but they're still together,
No.
right? Oh, no?
Yeah, I was looking for her dad because I'm just like, I like that dude. I want to, I want to see him talk some more. And I don't know if he was just out of town. I mean, they are still together though, so I don't know.
Wait, refresh my memory. Was it just all women? Were there men?
There was one little boy, but that might have been it. There was like a 10-year-old boy, and I think that was the only guy that was there. Maybe he was
Huh.
for sure the only guy. No men spoke, so there might have been a guy I didn't notice who was like
Yeah.
milling around in the background or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the people that got like their name on the screen and said stuff, there were no dudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Overall, it was so cute. Everything was great. I think it was a good family meet. We just badly need to see Will's side. We just
Hmm.
need to see how he interacts when he's in his own um terrain, for lack
Yeah.
of a better word, and see how he operates. I will say that it was kind of crazy. Like, I laughed out so loud the way her family just kept saying, kiss. We want to see you kiss. We've never seen you kiss
Yep.
anyone. And then she did it once. They're like, hey, there's kissing going on. And someone's like, we
Hey,
want
yo,
to
they
see it
kissing.
too.
No, again, this is my family. This is exactly what the first thing I said when they walked in the house is, I know the house smells so good right now.
With all the food.
This is if when my wife comes around, like my whole family in California, it is exactly the same dynamic. There's
Yeah.
also very few dudes that are there, so it's a lot of loud women, all like very very excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
Very much if they saw us kissing, y'all, they're kissing, come here, it would be the exact same thing.
Yeah. And also, like, for all the things where you're saying like, oh, just do this for your wife, like Will indulged. He wasn't
He
like, oh
showed up
no, I
exactly the
don't
way
want
she
to.
wanted him to.
He just, he went ahead and went along with it, and I'm sure that made her happy. So another good episode for them. So yay. I'm
He
excited.
he jumps on the trampoline like a weirdo, but aside from that, everything else was good.
Brian, I'm gonna kick you off this pod right now.
Look, man, move your arms. Like last season, watching Michi eat ice cream and be sad. I'm like, you're eating ice cream, man. Like you can enjoy this. Move your arms on the trampoline.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. Okay, moving on to Belinda and Chad. Every drop is the same thing. There's just not
Yep.
a lot on here. I've
Mm-mm.
accepted, like, this is the pace of their relationship. They are happy as a clam. They are in their own bubble. I'm just,
Yep.
that's just what it is. So they get their box of toys. Belinda says, like, she's not into any of the toys because she has already done it and she's done with that phase of her life. I
Yep.
do not understand what that means.
I think her natural freak score is low, and she did a lot of stuff when she was with Jalen's dad. What's his name? Not Jesse's her brother. When she was with her with Jalen's dad, and she's like, "Yeah, I didn't really love any of that stuff. Like, I did it because he was into it, but like regular old sex is fine for me now. I like that enough.
Yeah,
So she's like, I don't need it anymore."
if she had said that, I think I would have gone with that. But the way she was saying was like, I don't need any of this because I already did it. But I
Yeah.
understand that you're right. That's probably what she meant, but it was just the way she said it. And she says everything with a smile. And
Mm-hmm.
then Chad was like, I don't get what you're saying. Like,
No, I still
just,
want to do freaky shit,
he's like, you're not dead. Like, just
right?
because you're used to, and then she's younger than he is. They go to a brewery and they talk about their childhood and where and how they grew up. And as they're talking in this new era maps, we are getting pictures too of them as children in
Yep.
their neighborhood. And honestly, Belinda kept it real when he's like, "Oh, this is north of them." She's like, "I don't know what you mean. I don't know north, south, east. Just tell me left, right. Where are we going?"
Yep, I'm that
And
way. I navigate my landmarks. I know go to where the gas station used to be, and then take a
Yep,
left. That's all I
yep.
got.
So Chad says like they have 3 weeks until decision day, and he doesn't want her to ever question that he loves her. So he's just gonna keep showing her and keep telling her that he loves her. So
Hmm.
good for them. Like
Well, I
this
will say
is,
also,
mm,
young Belinda and Jalen share a face. Like that picture of
yeah.
Belinda when she was up, like that could just be Jalen on like '90s day at high school or whatever. They look the exact same.
Yeah. She what's the saying? She threw up herself, like
Hmm.
her twin.
Yep.
So yeah. Um Jalen and Josh, speaking of,
Mm.
Jalen is frustrated that they're at this point because if you recall, there was some kind of miscommunication, not a miscommunication, there was a damn lie
Yeah.
about unfollowing an ex. And they get double teamed with Dr. P and Pascal like everybody else. And Josh says, like, we're in a spot because I panic responded and said that I had unfollowed an ex when I had not followed, when I hadn't unfollowed her. And Jalen says, like, when you've been cheated on like that, it's like, oh, this could happen again. But it's not
Yep.
even really that. It's just that she thought it was unnecessary and hurtful to her. And she's still like going back and forth, like, is it a red flag or is it an obstacle that I can work through? Dr. Pia says, like, oh, this is a different level of commitment. And now you're a married woman. So what you should be thinking of is what does the trust repair look like? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Didn't love that. Where it's like, yeah, if y'all were dating, of course you would break up with him for this, but y'all are married, so deal with it. I'm just like, all right,
Okay.
that's a bit much.
These are the things that usually cause people to stay in unhealthy, marriages because it's always like,
Hmm.
everyone says like, oh, it's hard. You work through things, but what are the things? And I think her question was very valid. Like, what is a red flag and what is something I should walk away with, especially since it's not like we dated. I don't know this man. I'm getting to
Exactly.
know him. So for Dr. Pia to just come and say, no, you shouldn't do that. You should just think like, forgive him and move on. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
not good advice, at least to me. I don't think
I don't
so.
think so. No.
Um, she says that he needs to understand that this is his wife and it doesn't benefit him to engage in that behavior. Then she just asked Jalen, like, can you forgive him? And she's like, yeah. And then both of them, Pascal and Dr. Pierre, like, nah, we didn't buy that.
Bullshit.
That didn't work. Like, nah. So Pascal says, like, listen, marriage doesn't work, people work. I don't know what that means, but okay.
I don't know. He's
And
trying to have bars.
and that's the thing. It's like when you go to a doctor, right? And I've had experiences with doctor where you just put all your faith in them and you think like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
because they're doctors, they know what they're doing. But they're also like, listen, this is a Hail Mary. I don't know. It could be anything. All the
Yeah.
symptoms are the same. And that's it. So because they're like, oh, the experts, it's like everything that comes to my mouth must make sense. But a lot of this with this Burning Man gate did not make sense to me. So he
No.
says, marriage doesn't work, people work. And to forgive him, you need to release the judgment and don't hold it over his head. And this is what I didn't like about that. I kind of feel like they were not giving her room to breathe or think on it or actually sit in her feelings that she's mad. This
Yeah.
happened, I think, the day before. And then
Mm-hmm.
both of you come here and you're just like, listen, we have statistics to keep. We need couples to stay together. You
Yeah.
need to just keep it moving. And she's like, no, like this is raising things for me. Like I really need to, the honeymoon, the bubble has bust now. We've said I
Mm-hmm.
love you. And it's like, oh God, what was I saying? And then you listen. This is what Will was saying. Will said, you say I love you, but you don't even know who you're saying I love you to.
And see, my issue with this whole thing here is they never got around to asking him, hey, why haven't you unfollowed her? Like, we never talked about that. It was just he didn't unfollow her. He lied about unfollowing her, and she needs to get over that. But I'm just like, okay, why? Like, I have an ex that I still follow on Instagram. We haven't spoken in, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. 10, 15 years. I follow her because she's got a son who goes to the college that we both went to, and it's cool as hell to like look at pictures of him doing the shit that we did when we were in college and everything.
That's not
That's
a
it.
good enough reason, Brian, but keep going.
No, it's not. And if my wife was like, I'm out, I don't want that, I'd be like, okay, cool, I will unfollow her. It's not a big deal for me. So we need to figure out, are you following her still because you are hung up on her? Are you following her because you guys were friends for 10 years before you dated? You dated for a little while, then you broke up and you're still friends. We have no understanding of why he's following her and why he's not willing to unfollow her yet. And there's a lot of reasons for why that could be, but we don't get any understanding as to what's going on there.
I have two questions. How recent is this ex? When's the last time you slept together?
Right.
And
Right.
context. A lot of
Yes.
context is missing.
Also, where does she
From
live?
there.
Does she live in Austin or does she live in like Maine and you're never probably going to be physically in her space again? We don't know
Yeah.
enough about her to know what's going on with these two.
Yeah. She says, and this was valid too, and this is Jalen, is like it's making her question him on if he's just saying things that she wants to hear, but he's building resentment internally. Because off the top of
Mhm.
my head, he said yes, he was going to unfollow when Dr. Pia was there, and she didn't even ask for that. He said, "Oh, I don't need a post up. It's fine, whatever." And then he said, "Oh, you don't need to go to Burning Man." And then now we're finding
Mhm.
out like all of these things were not true. That is enough. That's a pattern
Yeah.
3 times.
Yep.
So they're like, are you good? Is there anything else? And then she's like, you know what? Now we're here. I might as well bring it up. I'm bringing up festivals.
Here
And
we
he
go.
said it was fine. If we don't like it, we don't have to go. And she wants to make sure that he actually meant it. And then they're like, go ahead. Tell him. They force her to tell him how she's feeling. Like, tell him you don't want to go at all. And then she's like, Josh, I'm not into that stuff. And
Yeah.
then he's like, well, what is a healthy medium? Because that's a big part of me. And then we see him in pictures at Burning Man. And Dr. Pia asks if she has an issue with him going. And she pauses and is like, it's a big part of his life. And she doesn't want to take it away from him. And maybe she would rather he be with someone who enjoys it as much as he does. Like, you can only have different hobbies and stay separate in it for so long. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what?
I don't get any of this.
How did we get here? Like, wait,
Right.
what? um,
Oh my god, I was so confused because like she, as far as we've seen, she has not been like, you cannot go to Burning Man anymore if we're going to be together.
yeah,
Um, I don't think, and I've never been, I'm never gonna go. I don't think of Burning Man as like one big orgy where we're all just fucking. So probably he could go and you could trust him like not to cheat on you or anything like that while he's there if this is something that's important to him to do. Um, I don't understand exactly why that's not being presented as an option or why what her hangup would be about that. But beyond that, my wife and I have radically different interests and hobbies. Um, there, my favorite band came to play in the city that I live in June. I love hard rock. I love metal. I'm going to go to this concert. I know damn well she's never going to want to go to that. She'd be a miserable person to go to a concert with like that. It's not her scene. So when it came, I didn't even ask if she wanted to go. I'm like, oh, I've got a
Yeah.
friend who I play trivia with who also loves the same band. We will go. You enjoy a nice quiet night at home. When I was there, I was like, oh boy, I would love if she was here with me. There's couples that are here. They're all hugged up. They're loving the show together. It wouldn't be us,
Yeah.
So like, I don't I don't understand why they have to have the same hobbies. It doesn't
Ye-
make sense to me. My wife and I do different things. I play trivia every week. She will not come because she's like, I don't have fun. Your team is real good. I don't get to answer any questions.
Yeah.
She's got things that she likes to do with her friends that I'm not interested in, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to have all the same hobbies, and I don't understand why Jalen is so kind of rigid on if this is something that is important to you, you need to go be with somebody that's important to them too. I'm just like, I can't watch a horror movie with my wife, because she doesn't like them. So I watch it by myself. I don't get where this is all coming from with her, other than in the very beginning, she did tell us that everything she knows about love comes from rom-coms
Yeah.
and Hallmark movies or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, if you have this kind of a fantasy view of what love is, where you guys are always doing all the same stuff,
Yeah.
this is probably going to sound like a problem for you. But I don't know. She needs to calm down.
Well, that's the thing. In all of the things, I have not heard her say you cannot go. She just said
No,
go with somebody else. So my first reaction was confusion because I'm with you when she says you can only have different hobbies and stay separate in it for so long. I'm like, wait. I'm thinking like even for myself, I'm with you in the same like I go to BravoCon. BravoCon is like
Mhm.
3-4 days. My husband is not going to go around and line up to watch Housewives with me,
Right.
so that's not gonna happen. I've been to Sundance, the same thing, couple of things. But then I Googled Burning Man. It's 9 days. It is nine
Yes.
days.
And you can't
And
leave. You're there.
yeah, and I know they were saying 7 days, but even then, if it's something that's so important to him and he's done this his whole time, why can't he go with his friends or people who have it and then you do your thing? Trust me, you're gonna enjoy your time alone to do your maybe schedule your girls trip around that so it works out if you can't be
Sure.
without him or stuff. So this was very confusing for me, and the fact that this conversation was so long and I still didn't have answers to all of the questions that we had. But moving on, he says like he was excited to hear her say that she was happy to go with him, and now it doesn't feel good to hear that he should spend it with someone else. He doesn't want anyone else, that he wants
Mhm.
her. He says that he didn't pick his partner because of a passion, because then our relationship is centered around that passion. And Dr. Pia is like, oh my God, I love what I'm hearing. You're so mature. And then Dr. Pia says, like, okay, so what I'm hearing is like, you are not defined by that festival, but it's the feeling and sense of community that you get from it. And those are the things that also jive with Jalen as a person. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's what he was saying. Like this is
I
exactly
don't
and
think
entirely his personality. From day one, he's
it
been
is.
talking about this. Because if it wasn't his personality, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He would just be like, you know what? I'll find something else. You're in Austin. Austin City Limits is in there. Not quite the same
Mhm.
thing, but if you're looking for a sense of community, you can find that there. They have a whole bunch of stuff. Listen, Rhonda has a bike riding club. You can get community there. So that is
Sure.
not what he's saying, but I think they were just overwhelmed by like, okay, these are the experts. Like, I don't want to say that's not what I mean, but even her saying, I think that jives with you as a person. What jives with her? I didn't
I
understand.
don't know. I think they were trying to say, okay, let's take the actual event of Burning Man out. What is it about going that is so important to you? Because it almost felt like in this moment he was coming to the realization, oh, this really is a much more important thing to me than I realized when I first brought it up. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how he didn't know that about himself, but he seems to be learning
Mm-hmm.
that about himself right now. My thought process is, okay, cool. If we are talking about community and camaraderie and a big event where we all go and feel the same energy and we all want the same thing and do the same rituals, I have two words for you: college sports. You live in Austin, Texas. There's a college right damn there. I am a diehard Iowa Hawkeyes fan. I get all of the same community and camaraderie and the ups and downs of everything when I go to a football game in Iowa. Like, it's not, I get to dress like an asshole if I want to. You can wear all kind of crazy shit to go to a college sports game. You have community online. and talk to people about it. Like if what you want is community, plus Jalen was a college athlete, she'd probably be down with that. Like there are other things. If what you're looking for is this kind of shared community and emotional attachment to something, there's other stuff out there that can give you that. I don't think that's what's so important to him. I think it is this specific thing, which might really be the only thing he's ever found that makes him feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were trying to tell him how he feels. I don't think that he feels how they want him to feel.
Yeah. I mean, and then they try to cover themselves and by saying like, we're not saying don't go to any festival, but you do have to compromise sometimes and say we're going to a show or a concert, but then also know her boundaries, and then you can create what you want to create. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it's just a lot to throw into it because her boundaries is like, it's a hard no. I don't want to go. What is the boundary?
I ain't
Then you want to
going.
go to a show. It's not her thing. He doesn't get the sense of community from something else. So we're just saying things to cover and we're covering all the points, but is it really helpful? I don't know. Dr. Pia says these are growing pains and they can work through it, but they pan to Jalen's face and she doesn't look convinced that
No.
this is
One
something.
thing I wish they would have suggested is, okay, you can go to Burning Man by yourself with your friends, whatever. Why don't you, while you're there, each day take like a 10-minute video of things that you're doing and the most impactful things to you, put that together, and then when you get back, you can share the experience with Jalen. Like that way, she doesn't have to go there and get dust all over herself. You don't have to feel like you are completely separating this major part of your life from your marriage. You guys might both get served by that. And who knows, maybe some crazy how Jalen will go, okay, this might be something I want to do one of these times. Probably not. But like it seems weird to me that their solution is either go be with somebody that wants to do this or
Mm-hmm.
you can't do it anymore. I'm just like, there are all kinds of options here for you guys to explore to not make this a deal breaker for you.
Yeah, it was just interesting that it wasn't a cut and dry, honey, it's not for me. You can go. Absolutely have no problem. And for him,
Mm-hmm.
it would be nice to go with you, but you don't want to go. I will go because the last couple of years you've gone without her.
Yeah.
So
You've
it's
always gone
not
without her.
just it's just a thing. So yeah. But anyways, let me take a quick break and we'll talk about they still talked about it even after the experts left and we'll be right back. All right. So when the experts leave, they discuss the aftermath and Josh says like, "Listen, it's hard to digest in the moment because it's something that I really enjoy and I want you to experience it, but can she give him that freedom?" And again, I'm like, was it cut out? Did she say
I don't
you can't
know.
go? Because it's confusing for us. We're just watching
Mhm.
this very lengthy conversation and confused as to why this is a big deal and why the obvious solutions are not being talked about. He's
Yep.
like, we can find a compromise, but we're not going to do it by decision day. And are you okay with it? And she's like, I'm not worried about that. And he's like, all I ask is for you to give it a chance. With him, like imagine if someone said like you had to give up cycle, and she's like, cycle is 45 minutes. I just,
Yep.
it's not
That was a
9 days,
bad analogy.
no showers, no nothing. And he's like, listen to me, let me finish. All I'm saying is look at it through the span of our lives. On our deathbed, would you think I really wish I should have gone to Burning Man with Josh? If it was Will, we would have said, no, I don't think so. But Jalen
Yeah, like no.
knows the cues. She's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because no. Because now I think now this is where I think is being a little like emotional and manipulative. Now you're bringing
Yep.
deathbed. Like, what is with these guys? Like, again, Will said the cancer thing yesterday. And now we're like, if we're on our deathbed and no, don't do that. Just make your
I
point.
haven't talked to my wife dying once. Like it's not something we ever talk about.
So she says she feels backed into a corner because all this is because he said that it was fine. And then they rolled the tape. We hadn't seen that. They were, oh, maybe they have.
Right.
They showed it earlier, maybe.
They
And they were
might have,
talking
but
about it.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
And he says, yeah, well, it took me until now to realize how important Burning Man is to me. And he was like, it's like if someone didn't want you to be a cycle instructor anymore. And she's like, if you didn't want me to be an instructor anymore, then I don't see us working out. And now I'm
Mm-hmm.
confused because this is crazy. And I thought the issue was that she didn't want to go. So
Yeah.
is the issue that she doesn't want him to go either? But then he goes, no, I don't mean like if you were forced, like I told you not to. I mean like if you lost your legs. I'm like, oh my God, what is
You're spinning out. I think he is really coming to the realization in real time, in front of all of us, how crucial a thing this is to him. I don't think he's ever had to confront what life would be like without it. I think, knowing the things that I'm passionate about, I can imagine him seeing himself at 65 or 70 years old, still going to this and never missing a year. And now having to confront, maybe my last time going will be the last time I ever go. And what does that mean? He's flipping out. And I don't think he needs to, because unless they cut it out, Jalen did not say, you may never go to this again. I don't want you going. I don't trust you going. We didn't get any of that.
And that's the rigidity that a lot of this cast is facing. They have
Mm-hmm.
expectations, they have a certain way in their minds, and they're just like, what do you mean I have to break away from exactly what I thought this was going to be? But he says that she's getting defensive and she interrupts and he's like, okay, can we practice letting each other finish? And she's like, you know
Oh,
what, go for it, say what you need to say. And he's like, all I'm saying, we both have passions. And she rolls her eyes and he says, don't roll your eyes at me. Don't you ever, he didn't say don't ever roll your eyes at me. This is something that is passionate about me. I find it disrespectful. And then, you didn't let me finish my sentence. And then she rolled her eyes and then she's like, you know what, I don't think there's anywhere else to go with this conversation. I'm not interested in going to a bunch of festivals. Now, there,
mm-hmm.
deal with that.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I wanted to work. And I'm just wondering, how do I find that passion? And then he tears up and he says, like, if they can find something that gives him that much of community like this gives him, he would be happy. That he just wants community and he comes from not having his mom or a normal household. And he's like, my brain doesn't automatically think, oh, I should search out new communities, which is wild to me, but people are different. Because at heart, because I mean, if he was willing to go to say, what if you lose your legs? I'm just like, what if you lose your legs and you can't go to
Yeah.
Burning Man? Like, what is your option? Like, you can do that.
What if you develop some kind of a lung condition and the dust is going to bother it, or you can't be
Yeah.
in the sun anymore? Like,
Yeah.
what are we playing the what if game for?
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, because at heart, he's an introvert. So he doesn't know if he's explaining this well. And, he just wants them to. And then she says, like, we should just have a big picture goal. Like, how can we find these everyday things versus a couple of times a year, which is a good point. So does that mean like the rest of the year you don't have the community, but when you have this few days, that's all you have to look forward to every year? Like, you gotta come out of it. But I'm glad they
I'm
came
saying
to a
college sports. You get 40 weekends a year.
I'm glad they came to a resolution because honestly, I couldn't listen to this conversation anymore. It was
No,
dragging.
I was done with it. And we're not going to get to any kind of conclusion, because once you get to the part where you're arguing about the argument, you're never going to get to a conclusion. You're talking
Yeah,
about, well, I don't like you rolling your eyes, I don't like you cutting me off. You're no longer talking about Burning Man and festivals and what you're going to do. You're arguing about the argument, and that's never going to go well.
yeah. Okay, Rhonda and Pat.
Mm.
She is visiting. Take a deep breath, Brian, and we're gonna be nice to
No.
Rhonda. Okay.
What's his wee business?
She's visiting her father's grave and giving Pat. I always call it a history lesson on her family because she always has some story that she's
Hmm.
unloading on him. And the man is trying to navigate a Texas highway. Anyone who has navigated a Texas highway knows that you need your 1000%
Hmm.
concentration on there. They will swipe your card
Yes.
if you're not
Well,
careful. So we see him checking his mirrors, focusing, and and you were saying, and then she gets short with him. Like he was like, he mentioned like the city or something that she mentioned. It's like, we're way past that. We're already on here. And he's like, okay. And then she continues. Then she ends one of the stories with like, and then we found my uncle's stack of Playboys. And then he laughs and says, oh, it was coming back in the day. My dad had a lot of those. And she's like, well, that's not the point. I'm being vulnerable by my uncle giving up his life. You mentioned Playboy.
right.
We're thinking this is the part where we're making it light, and then he can chime in and say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." But it's getting frustrating that every time he speaks, all I see is like a teacher with a ruler saying,
Yep.
"Stop talking. You have to respond this way." And it's like, let the man live, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and my thing with these two, number one, far be it from me to diagnose somebody. I feel like Pat has the same kind of ADHD that I have, and he's not diagnosed. If you are talking to me, I'm going to not internalize a lot of what's being said. I do great retaining information, reading it. if you tell me something, expect me to forget 40 to 60% of whatever you just said, because my brain does not store that information when it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm trying to drive a car, go somewhere I've never been to before, follow instructions, look at the other cars, and you're giving me facts, I'm forgetting almost everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Until you tell me something that I can relate to myself. Oh, you found porno? I found porno one time. We can have a conversation about that. Like, the man is fighting for his life, trying to drive this
He
car,
is, because on top
and
of
she's
that,
not helping.
he's on eggshells too, because he's just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? I know she expects me to do this." So they get to her father's grave, and they're sitting on there, and she asks him like, "Oh, do you have anything to say?" And he goes, "Nice to meet you." Like,
Yeah.
again,
What
they
do you
just
say?
met. Going back to a lot of expectations for people that just met each other. And you could tell that it wasn't enough, because she's like, "Well, can I have time for myself?" And basically shoos him away.
Yeah, get out of here.
And the thing is, in this short span that we've seen, when they were in the car, she was like, "You have to make a right here." When they were walking into the graveyard, she's like, "Don't step on the grave. Be careful." When he was putting the
Mm-hmm.
flowers, pop that in there and put that there. Take this with you as you're going. It's like you're talking to him like a child. And
Yep.
Pat says, like, "I can tell that she's been in a heightened emotional level since we were on our way here. And honestly, there's not much that I can do except give her some space." So they start driving away, and she continues. And which, in my way, is like, I'm not saying she's not sad, but you can tell that she's still not satisfied with the response that he has given her. So
Mm-hmm.
she goes, "I'm still thinking about him." And then she starts crying. He's driving again, and he holds her hand and is just like,
Yep.
"Again, how long has it been, since, he passed away?" And then she gets snappy and was like, "I just told you the story, and I just talked about, when my dad died." And he's like, "I can't hear everything. You're gonna have
Right.
to repeat it sometimes. Like, I don't know." And then, good for Pat, he pulls over, and then she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, like,
What do you think?
no.
No. Why do you no? And like, listen, the thing here for me. Okay, so she said, I was 19 when he passed away.
Mhm.
We don't know how long before he asked her how old she was, but regardless, he knows you were young. Whether it's 19, 20, 21, 18, he knows you were young. He's just trying to remember exactly what number it was. He's asking you a question about yourself in your emotional development and all that, exactly the shit you want him to ask. And now you're mad that he didn't retain every piece of information. You forgot this man's name 20 seconds after he said it to you.
That's a good point. I
Like, come
forgot
on.
about that.
She is so rigid with what she wants from him.
Yeah.
And I was telling my mom yesterday, I don't know if Pat has kids. I've forgotten. I don't know if
He has
men or
two,
women.
remember? Two
I don't
boys.
remember. He can't ever talk about himself. I have no idea. I don't know. The only thing I know about him is space. Like, he likes space. But like, I understand when they were on the honeymoon and he was going on and on about himself. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
We have not heard him give any information about himself since then.
that's
We
true.
know so much about Rhonda to the point that I know what kind of porno her uncle liked. And I don't know anything about this dude other than space, because every time he tries to relate to her with a story that matches her story, which is what
Yeah,
a conversation is,
yeah,
she gets mad and is like, no, 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 no. Talking about herself again. And I'm just like, God damn, like, this poor man, he's trying.
yeah.
He's got more patience than I got, because I would have been driving like an asshole.
And that's what I'm
Like, I would
saying,
have pulled
is
over.
like, he's the right temperament for her, because
Yeah.
it's just like, he's understanding of her and he quickly apologizes, but it's a two-way street. Eventually it's going
Yes.
to be lopsided, and it's just all about Rhonda, but what about Pat? So yeah, they do pull over, and she says, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "No, I'm
No,
not
not
good."
good.
And he was like, "What's wrong?" And he was like, "I'm frustrated. Like, when you scold me, like, you scold me and I shut down, and you were giving me a lot to process, and it just feels like I'm always under evaluation." And you guys, they're in the car, right? And they're sitting facing each other and they're holding hands, but it really feels like they were in a therapist's office. And it was like, "Now you go." And she's like, "I apologize. I want to feel heard. I want to feel seen. And I struggle with that." I'm like, why are they talking that way? Like,
It's so deliberate. Like, it's like they're both just like, okay, I don't want to make anything worse, so I'm gonna talk real
Real slow.
slow, like Angie Katzenevas talks, so I can plan each word I say. I'm just like, y'all, this is weird looking.
So she's like, I struggle with that with you. I would appreciate grace. And I'm like, you're not giving him grace, but you asked
No,
for
none.
grace. And then he says, I'm not done yet. He didn't say that part, but he was
Mhm.
like, I feel like you're always testing me. And she's like, I already apologized, but this has happened multiple times with you where I feel like you're not listening to me. And then he says, like, listen, you're helping me grow. Like, I feel like I've been stagnant. I could be better. And then, she says thank you. And then, they do what they do. They kiss after every difficult conversation. And he says,
Mhm.
thank you, honey. Thank you for talking to me. I feel okay. I agree. It's fine if that's how he feels that, she's helping him grow and, he's been stagnant and she's pushing him. Low key, 2%. I wish he didn't say that.
Mhm.
You had something valid to say. She was making you feel like a child. She was talking to you like a child. It felt like he threw that in to kind of appease her, but I don't know if I'm being hypocritical if we're saying that's what we're saying Will should do for Brittany and just, say something nice that's going to make her feel good. But I feel he had a valid point that he doesn't have to throw in something immediately just to make her feel good at to the point where it's like, you're doing something for me because I'm lacking in this. Like, save that for another conversation. I wish he did. It's helping their development. I can't complain, but it's just low key. I wish he didn't add
Yeah.
that part
Yeah.
there.
I don't like it when you have a dispute and you're upset about something and you wind up apologizing at the end for
Mm-hmm.
making the other person feel bad that they upset you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you need to be able to just have your feelings, say how you feel, find a way to say it where your partner can hear it, internalize it, not get defensive about it. But you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be in a position where it's like, hey, the thing that you said upset me, and I'm sorry for telling you it upset me. Like, that's not healthy growth.
Yeah. So he says, they move on and that's the end of their day for that. Then we see them having pizza and wine at the apartment. And she said, like, I've been trying to figure out why I'm so stuck on being heard. And I'm like, that's nice. Like, introspect. I
Yeah,
love this cast. I really, really like, they put a good group together.
they did.
They did. No one's like selfish per se. And
Mm.
she's like, no, I went too far. Who do you
I
think is
feel like
selfish?
Rhonda's selfish. I do feel like
Okay.
Rhonda. The fact that anytime he mentions his own story, she's like, "Nope, don't do that." Like, that to me is selfish. I think everyone else is not so much. Megan has her moments, but yeah,
But the fact that she's even trying to figure out, like, okay, how can I do better? Why am I so stuck on,
yeah.
oh, my story, listen to me, heard, or I think that's the selfless act that
She's
she's
she's at
trying for them to
least
be better. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's at least able to look at herself and say, okay, this is a me problem to fix.
Yeah.
Whereas past cast members are like, no, I am perfect. You have all the problems. So we've at least gotten better
Yes.
than that.
Yes. So she's like, the thing is that her biggest insecurity is being chosen, and it comes from her dad. Like, her dad wanted a boy, but instead he got two girls, but her sister was that boy.
Mhm.
She was the one that, did all the things with him and, got a wrench and did all the activities that if he had a son, he would have done with him. And she felt like he chose her. He took her to, what was it? A private, he paid for private tennis lessons or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was
When they
tennis lessons, I think, and they went deer hunting together because
Yeah.
knowing Rhonda, she's not going to shoot anything.
Yeah,
So
and
like,
she's like,
yeah,
"We didn't have money, but their dad found a way to pay for the
yep.
private lessons." So she just felt like he chose her sister, and then after that, she's been in toxic relationships where they've told her that she's too loud, she's a flirt, and so she feels like it's a trigger because she feels like him not being interested in getting to know who she is feels like she's not chosen. And I'm like,
Hmm.
good work, good
Yeah,
work. At
that's
least,
good work. Let's put it in action though. Let now that we have this understanding about ourselves, which is
yeah.
great, that's the first step. Let's make some actionable steps so that we can help get past this and not have it continue to be kind of a hamper to your whole relationship. We ain't seen that part yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
It'll take time.
I do like that. At least Rhonda's expertise on herself, I understood compared to the
Yeah.
experts, where I'm like, what does that mean? It's a word
Right.
salad. But
Yeah.
he does that thing again, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I want you to feel heard." So, hey, if it works for them, I love it.
Yeah.
So, our final couple, Meghann and Derrek,
Mm.
they go to the cryo place. If you remember, Meghann gave Derrek a what was
Ice
it?
bath.
Cold plunge ice bath,
Cold plunge
the
ice bath.
thing.
Yeah.
And they go to a cryo place for a cold plunge, and she's like, "Oh, it's really about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable." And then she hurt herself and was like, "That's funny coming from me."
Mm-hmm. Who said that?
Then we get a flashback to her. Guys, we're going at lightning speed. And Derek is in the apartment with Scott. I thought we couldn't say his name, but it looks like
Right.
everything's fine now. Brian, I got to tell you, it took me a minute to realize that that wasn't Chad.
They look a lot alike. They
I'm
look a
like,
lot alike.
why is Chad here? Like, why is he just chilling in your
Yeah.
apartment?
I mean,
So
Scott doesn't sound as much like an old Western cartoon sheriff. Like they look a lot alike.
but I made it through. I realized that it was Scott. And he asked, like, "Oh, have you said the L bomb?" And she was like, "I did." He didn't say it back. And then Scott is all like, "What? You haven't said I love?" I was like, dude, it's just 1 month. Like, why? Why
Right.
is that shocking? So she feels like they're in a good page, but she's not going to force him to say I love you, which is completely different from what we saw at the dinner. But you know what?
Yeah.
We're moving
This is
along as
growth
they
from
move
her.
along. As they move
I
on.
thought she was gonna completely flip out again, and she
Yeah.
didn't. So like
No.
some growth. We got a little bit of positivity out of her.
I mean, this feels like watching Love Island. Like when I see people fight on Love Island, I'm okay. Love Island UK. Because the next day, can you come for a chat? And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want any animosity and stuff. So everything's fine. So we know that the conflict resolution is here this season. So
Mhm.
I'm not so worried every time I see a fight because the next thing we're going to see, it's like nothing happened. So, you
Yeah.
know.
There haven't been any multiple episode fights yet.
Mm-mm. So we watch them do the cold plunge, and Derek does it for like 2 minutes and something, and then
Yeah.
Megan is like, "Challenge accepted. I'm doing 2 minutes and 30 seconds just to beat you." And she goes in and she sits in there for 4.5 minutes, and I'm like, "Is hypothermia worth it? Because what are we doing?" I actually looked up the benefits of a cold plunge, and I
Mhm.
mean, it has the benefits that are listed, but I'm like, is it scientifically backed? I mean, some of it is, but
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I'm just this is crazy. Cause she's like, I
I'm a
can see
mid
my toe being purple, getting purple.
yeah.
I'm like, get out.
Listen, I'm a Midwesterner. I know from cold weather, there's no positive about going outside when it's 15 degrees and you have on shorts and a t-shirt. Like it sucks. It's a terrible time. I have given myself frostbite once by accident. That sucked. That was a terrible time. So
Yeah,
like, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. My kid loves to play in the snow. I'm just like, "Oh, we're gonna set a timer.
yeah.
30 minutes. All I got, man. We got all of our shit on. 30 minutes, and then it's hot chocolate time. I could not sitting in a cold plunge. I'm not sure how cold it was because
Yeah.
there was no ice in it, but obviously cold as shit because they were both
Hmm.
really uncomfortable in it.
Yeah. So, Pascal and Dr. Pia show up. They share about their communication and how it's authentic now, how they've gotten to a good place, that she told him that she appreciated him. And it was such a good moment that he said, I love you. And apparently he told her, I love you a couple of days prior in private. And that
Mhm.
created a shift because now she feels like more secure and you can almost feel like her shoulders drop and, she feels safe in that. And then we're just recovering from that. Then we get a selfie cam. And then we see Derek with 2 pregnancy tests. And he's like, oh, our world just shifted, that these are positive. And then they're like, oh, we weren't even trying. And why do people say we're not trying when you're having unprotected sex every day?
I think, especially if you're somebody who has gone all this time and not gotten pregnant and all of those things, that in your mind, especially if you have friends that have had fertility journeys and struggles and all that,
Yeah.
you have to track things. You have to track your
Yeah.
ovulation. You have to make sure you're doing it X amount of times per
Yeah.
week or per day and all that. Like y'all, cavemen were doing this and having babies left and right. It's not, you don't have to do science and math. You can just have sex and shoot up the club, and all of a sudden here comes a baby. So like it's odd to me that they're like, well, should we start trying in fall or so? It's like y'all have been trying daily. It hasn't happened
Yes.
yet. If we do this thing, this is what the thing is supposed to do. So yeah, it's weird to me that they kind of felt like, well, we can just have unprotected sex all the time and not have a kid until we decide to try. I'm like, that's not how this
You
goes.
will it into existence.
Yeah, no, it just is going to happen whether you want it to or not. There's a whole TV show called Unexpected all about this.
The good part is, honestly, they did not seem freaked out at all, which is all the more reason. Like, if Derrek had any questions at all of if she wanted to have kids or if she was excited to have kids, this is it. She wasn't
Yeah.
panicking, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Whatever. She seemed pretty calm. He seemed pretty calm. He's like, I'm committed to helping and supporting you through this process. And I'm like, and then she kissed his head, and I'm like, oh, I'm happy for them.
I will say he seemed excited. She seemed like she was a little bit in shock still, where she wasn't upset. Because, I mean, this could be the opposite, where it's just like, I don't want this. This is not how I wanted this to happen. I'm kind of
Yeah.
panicking over the birth and all that. She wasn't there, but it felt a little bit like she was very much in her head of like, shit, like this is happening. And like, okay, like I'm going to have to make some adjustments and sort of change my outlook on things. But she didn't seem upset. And
Yeah.
he over the moon. This man was overjoyed for this news. I'm like,
Yeah.
word? With
Like,
okay.
she was the one who said, oh, we're having a baby, because he was still setting
Yeah.
it up. And she's like, we're having a baby. Like, what I'm expecting
Yeah.
if she was upset would have been like, oh my God, we have gotten ourselves into. But again, this is going to be seen by their child, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
want it to be like a negative reaction. So anyways,
Well,
I'm happy
they
for
really,
them.
I mean, they could have given us surveillance footage of her like getting the test and like crying and being like, "Oh God, no!" Like that's not what happened. I think if they
Yeah.
had that footage, it would have shown us that. Um, I don't know. My main frustration is with the producers here,
Okay.
because if we did not hear anything about this until this moment, the gasp, I would have gusped. I would have
Yeah.
lost my shit. I'm like, why would you tell me this is going to happen
Yeah.
before this is the biggest bombshell in MAFS history, just like last season with David and Madison. Don't
Yeah.
tell me
Don't
this is gonna,
tell
just
us.
let me
Yeah.
find out. Just let
They're
me see it.
they're trying to drum up the interest
I
beforehand, and it's like,
know, but
no,
it's
like, just sneak it in there. It would have been water cooler. Everyone would have been like, oh my God, did a lot of people would be rewinding to be like, did I hear what I just did? I watch what I just watched?
right.
What did he say?
Like
But
like
yeah.
like the Miami reunion from the season. No spoilers on what happened with Miami, but there was a huge bombshell in Real Housewives of Miami this season during the reunion. Was not forecast. No one talked about it before. No one knew this was going to happen, and then it happened. It's like, holy shit, this is crazy. All you had to do was not say anything, and we would have found out, and it would have been shocking. And if you're trying to get attention, this is going to be all over TikTok. If it's a
Yeah.
big surprise, people will find out this happened and then go to your show.
Yeah.
I was very mad that we didn't get this as an authentic surprise.
I agree. Okay. Who do you give your bouquet to?
Oh shit! I mean, there were some good choices this episode. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia. I think
Okay.
that they did a lot to help, specifically with Will and Brittany.
Yeah.
They didn't do their best work with Jalen and Jasmine, or Jalen
Yeah.
and Josh, but like, I think that they're so much more active and they're actually therapizing this season. Whereas in past seasons, it was just like, hey, we put you guys together for a reason. Have fun. And it's like, no, we hate each other. Like we need help. So yeah, I think they did a good job this episode.
Yeah. I give my bouquet to Will and Brittany. It was just, there was the meeting with the experts, there
Mm-hmm.
was being on their own, and there was meeting the family. And I think they did well in each of those scenarios. And anytime we get a good Will and Brittany episode, I'm always grateful for that. And like, oh my
Makes me
God,
happy.
hope he lasts. Hope he lasts.
Yeah.
Who has your ashes?
Rhonda. Always
Duh.
Rhonda.
I don't know why I asked that question.
Yeah, if it's not Rhonda, it's Meghann. And this episode, Meghann was totally fine. So Rhonda, I find myself cussing at my TV a lot when she's on there, and I don't like how that makes me feel. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's a problem for me, and I liked her so much in the beginning, and I cannot stand this woman now, and that's probably unfair of me, but it's who I am as a person.
Brad,
I accept who I am, flaws and all.
I cannot help you. My ashes goes to the foursome that is Dr. Pia, Pastor Cal, Josh, and Jalen. That whole
Okay.
Burning Man conversation, I just way too long. I don't even
Mhm.
know if there was a solution, but they came to the solution after the experts had left. And
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to put that in practice, but hopefully they did. But it was just such a confusing conversation to follow that I don't think they were even getting like helpful advice. I think what they did well was providing the environment for them to actually say it out and speak it
Yeah.
out and then talk it out. So well done for that. But there was a lot of, oh, you're married now. Don't think about that. Don't think about that. I'm not saying walk away from your marriages. That's not what I'm saying. It was just like, give her the balance, like to be mad about what she's mad about because we don't have context and, all of that. So they got
Mhm.
my ashes because that conversation was too long. Okay.
That's fair. It's fitting. It's fitting.
All right, Brian. Share with people where they can find you, please.
Yep. I am at MAFS Virgin. We are covering episode by episode as well. So if you want to hear me and my co-host Kim talk about things, you can do that. You can join our Facebook group, MAFS Virgin Fan Club. It is growing pretty fast. And there's a lot of fun discussions happening in there right now. And also follow us on Instagram and Threads at MAFS Virgin. I am sorry about the YouTube, you guys. My ADHD prevents me from starting things sometimes. And so I got like 2 episodes up and I just cannot bring myself to put the other ones up. It's going to happen eventually. So if you do want to see us, you can go to our YouTube channel, MAFS Virgin, and subscribe. And one of these days, the episodes will all get up there, I promise.
You know where to find me, guys. It's Alto Call MAFS across all of the socials for bonus content for Married at First Sight and for other shows. I do the challenge every week. And like I announced on the last episode, I will be covering 90 Day Fiance Tell all 4 parts. That will also be on Patreon. It is patreon.com/AltoCall MAFS. And you can also go there to listen to ad-free versions of the episodes. Please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.